Hi guys, today we'll be looking at Naim NAP250 clone that I got from AliExpress about a month or 2 months ago. This can be yours for $365 for amplifier and $100 for shipping. I always try to buy these using some kind of coupons on AliExpress, so the coupons will at least cover the shipping costs. Before I begin the actual review, the links for associated equipment for my audio setup that I was using to do listening sessions with this amplifier is described in the video description below, and you can also find a link for the amplifier below the video. Okay, so as I said, the price in total was $475. That was for amp and shipping. I lowered that with coupons. The original can be yours for something like $8,500 right now. So the difference in price is quite staggering. The original amplifier is dated from 1975, and currently Naim is selling 6th generation of NAP250. The original NAP250 is specified to be able to deliver 100 watts in 8 ohms. So this one is a little bit different. This one is a little bit weaker because it's supposed to be able to deliver 90 watts per channel into 8 ohms and 170 watts per channel into 4 ohms loads. The other specifications that I could find in the manufacturer or seller offer are that signal to noise ratio for that one is supposed to be 110 decibels. It's supposed to be fully balanced as an original is, and it's a B class amplifier. Okay, before we go to the measurements, let's take a look at the externals. In front of the amplifier we have power button, and we have backlit Naim logo. It's not exactly Naim logo, it looks different, but it has the Naim name, so I'm not exactly okay with that. On the back, nothing interesting. On the sides, nothing interesting, and in the back we have set of inputs. We have a power socket with integrated fuse. We have speaker tabs. They are looking really good. We have 2 sets of XLRs and 2 sets of RCAs. So basically 1 stereo set of XLRs and 1 stereo set of RCA single-ended inputs. And that's it when it comes to externals. And let's talk about the build inside. However, if I go to that, 2 numbers that I've measured, 2 amazing numbers. The first one is the actual temperature when the amplifier is in use, and it's something like 22 degrees centigrade. So it's really cool, and it never gets warm. And why is that? It's because when it was playing the music with my speakers, with my whole setup, it was using roughly 12 watts of power. So it's very energy efficient. So let's take a look inside. As usual, the chassis quality is very good. It's very thick and very solid, and it goes for the sides, the back and the bottom too. These clones are spoiling me actually with the chassis build quality. Internally, I've covered the most of this in the first look video, but we have rectifiers here. We have 2 very large Hitachi capacitors. Each one of them is 22 thousandths of microfarads, rated for 63 volts. These are really large, as you can see. Maybe not exactly like my fist, but they are very big. Toroidal transformer, according to the manufacturer, this one is specified to be 400 watts, but I couldn't find any kind of description, any kind of label that would confirm this or say otherwise. Let's zoom a little. Yeah, like that, and I will show you the interesting bits. The transistors, the power transistor pairs are, as you can see, Sunken 2SC1831 and ON MJ15024G. All of them are actually the same here, and all of the Sunkens here are exactly the same. Let's zoom out. The amplifier is built upon 4 PCB boards. These are not connected here. This is not one single board for one channel. These are 2 separate boards. They look like they are separate. They look like they are one board, but they are not. The heatsink here is dividing them into 2 boards. What I like about the build is that they've placed all the wiring looms very neat. Although I'm not sure I would place wires with input signals in the same loom with power for the board. And the same goes to displays where we have speaker output cables going to speaker terminals, and in this particular place they are tied together with wires going to a rectifier. So it looks neat, but I would try to route this audio signal wires the other way. Okay. About the build itself, it's using quality components, nothing very expensive, but also nothing very cheap here. These capacitors are looking, they are actually described as Nichicons, but I'm not sure about the quality of the heat shrink lettering here. So these may be fake, but I may be wrong. These are very small, and the print quality on such small capacitors is not always the best. Okay, another interesting thing, but I'm wondering how should I show you this. Maybe this way it will be easier. Let's zoom in and let's move like that. Okay, so the amplifier is supposed to be fully balanced. We have 2 sets of inputs. One is single-ended, the second one is balanced input, and single-ended input goes here, and you can actually see, let's do that this way, that the single-ended input goes to the PCB board to the pins described as N plus and N minus. But what about the balance connection? The balance connection is connected differently. The ground is connected to the same place as single-ended ground, but negative and positive wires are connected to this resistor and to this resistor. So they are not connected to the specific places on the board, but directly to the components, which would mean for me that if the board is actually truly balanced, that these connectors are going directly to the board in order to bypass the part of the circuit when the conversion from single-ended to balanced takes place. But I may be wrong. That's just my educated guess. We have also small board here, small board with 2 relays. Let's zoom in. This board is used to protect the speakers. The relays are opening after full start of the amplifier, and they are piloting through the audio signal from the amplifier board through the relay to the speaker tab terminals. What else? Ah, yeah, the logo. The logo is placed here. It's just a backlit piece of plastic with print. As you can see when I'm touching this, this is a foil, plastic foil with print, so you can change it to whatever you like. It doesn't have to be this strange name lookalike logo here. Okay, what else would I like to tell you about this build inside? I like it. I think I've seen the PCB boards as a separate do-it-yourself toolkit available on AliExpress and eBay, and this amplifier is just built around this kit that you can purchase separately. Okay, so we've covered the build. It's time to move to the most important part of the review. So I'll try to answer the question, how does it sound? I've done my listening session last night and the night before that. As I said at the beginning, the description of my audio setup can be found in the video description. And let's start with my usual agenda. Let's start with bass. The bass is very nice, it's powerful, it's not overdone, but it is powerful. It's almost on the level with Brewmeister 933 clone. So it's a very good and high quality bass. It easily fills the room. It has some nice textures. And as I said, it's almost on the Brewmaster level, which means that it has more bass than other clones that I reviewed and tested so far. It has some nice extension. It is very natural, and if you're listening to piano, the piano notes, the low piano notes, will sound very natural, very powerful, with great impact. I love the bass on that amplifier. Now, moving on to the mid-range. The voices here have good timbre. The human voices sound very clear and organic, very natural. Jennifer once has all the vibrating words and so it goes. If you know the track, all the vibrating words are there. They sound as they should sound, so everything is fine with that track. Every instrument sounds full, with full body. There is nothing thin and nothing, how should I say that, dry? Nothing thin, dry and analytical sounding here. Moving on to treble. We have a very good extension and a very good air, but it's not on the side of the light, if you know what I mean. I would say that this amplifier is on the darker side. It's not warm in a bad meaning of the word, but it's dark. It's definitely dark. It sounds darker than other amps that I've reviewed so far. It's clear, but it's not crisp at the top end. The extension is good. All the cymbal sounds are completely right, but it's not light, it's dark, which is actually a very nice sounding thing here, because it also gives this amplifier a very black background. So all the sounds are coming to you from the absolutely black and clean background, and I really like that. Okay, moving to detail. If you know the track Hymn to the Fallen by John Williams from excellent Saving Private Ryan movie, you may take notice at the time mark of 3 minutes and 52 seconds, you will hear with this amplifier something like sticks, something like that. The thing is that this is a very small sound, and it usually gets covered by the choir singing in the back. So I was surprised to hear that sound here, although it's not on par when it comes to the amount of detail that it can retrieve from music with other amplifiers tested so far. It's good in this regard, but it's not excellent. But wait till the end of the review, because there is something very interesting happening here. Okay, as I said, very good black background, not as detailed as, for example, Dark Zeal. It's one quality that I like to point out here is that it's, in a way, it's forcing you to focus on the large picture. It doesn't allow you to dig into the small detail. It doesn't allow you to take a deep dive there. It forces you to look at the whole picture, especially if you have a leading singer. It'll focus your attention on the singer. That's a very interesting way to present the sound. I mean, the detail is there, maybe not in as large amounts as in Dark Zeal, but it's there. But you really need to focus to get it and to hear it. Okay. The good thing worth noticing here is that at the same time, when it's forcing you to look at the big picture, it means that it's also masking some of the bad recordings. If you have older recordings, if you have stuff that was just mixed or recorded poorly, this amplifier will mask some of the errors and mistakes made during recording of the original track. Which is in a way surprising, because this is the first amplifier from the clones that I got so far that does something like that. And it's also connected with this forcing you to see the big picture. So for example, I have a couple of tracks by London Grammar. These tracks were ripped from vinyl, and in most of the amplifiers you are able to hear the small cracks from the vinyl, and the cracks are floating in space between the speakers, after the speakers, in front of the speakers. With this particular amplifier, you can discern and find only the loudest cracks. The smaller ones get overflown by the music, and you pay absolutely no attention to the small errors and problems in the recording, which may be a very good quality for some of you guys. Okay, moving on to scene and imaging. Very good center image. But you cannot say that the instruments have a very specific pinpoint locations. You can hear where they are placed. You can hear that they are not very small, that they have full bodies, but you are not able to perfectly find, save and point with your finger that, for example, a guitar guy is exactly in this place. Okay. So the imaging is not razor sharp precise. It has good, if not very wide, left and right imaging. It has no problem with hiding the speakers. So when you're listening to the music and you close your eyes, you won't hear the particular left and right speaker. You'll have a whole scene of sounds in front of you. So it's a very good amplifier in that regard. Okay, two last information from the imaging department. Good height information, although depth information is just okay. I mean, this is the first amplifier that I'm testing that has height information better than the depth information. Usually, the easiest thing to get right is left and right, then depth information, and the hardest thing to get properly is height information. So you'll be able to discern sounds that are coming from the lower part of the scene, from the middle of the scene, and something up in the air. Heavy. Okay. Now that was all that part. All this description was for my testing with dynamic speakers. And usually when I'm connecting tested amplifiers to my Martin Logan Ascent 1 electrostatic speakers, you will not get the better sound. Electrostats are merciless. If there is anything wrong with your setup, if there is anything wrong with your equipment, they will show it and they will give it to you on a plate. So usually, if there are any problems with amplifiers, when I'm changing the speakers to electrostats, the electrostats will show these problems even clearer. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I had a very big and unexpected surprise with this amplifier. When I've connected this Naim clone to my electrostats, it actually started to behave and play at least whole level better. I suppose the reason for this is probably, again, that's just an educated guess, it's been designed or the circuit works better with lower loads, I mean with lower impedance loads. The electrostats are closer to 4 ohms than 8 ohms, and in treble they can go as low as 1.2 ohms. Whereas my other speakers, dynamic speakers, are mostly closer to 8 ohms, so they are not so difficult to drive. But when I've connected electrostats, this amplifier began to play at whole different and better level. To my surprise, it got clearer, it got airier with fast sense. It wasn't as dark with dynamic speakers. But it still got that trait, that black background with sounds coming from the blackness. The scale of the sound, I haven't covered that yet. It will be covered in the last part of the review. But this amplifier has a very large scale of the sound. It doesn't allow you to focus on the detail, but at the same time it paints a very big picture of your orchestra, of your music. So the scale got even bigger with Astens. It sounded excellent. It was building a very big and very powerful image in front of me. Astens are not a small speaker. They like to play big, and that's one of the reasons that I'm doing these clone races. I'm trying to find the best possible amplifier to drive them properly. And it's not an easy task. And most of the amplifiers are not as powerful to drive them properly, to give them room to breathe. And this Naim clone was excellent in this regard. It was way better than with dynamic speakers. So, for whatever reason, this pairing is unexpectedly good, with very emotional voices, very good air, and very good imaging. Imaging gets instant level up with electrostats. Detail and separation are also being kicked up one notch. It's like this amplifier was waiting for the actual challenge to show its qualities. Like driving regular dynamic speakers was too easy for it to show all the qualities. When I gave it proper load, not easy load, rather heavy load, it was able to show me the proper qualities and, if I may say so, the reason for the price of the original. So, moving on to the last part of the review, which usually is loose thoughts and my summary. This amplifier likes to play louder, to show macro skills, easily fills the room with sound. It has very good rhythm. This is something that I haven't mentioned earlier. It makes your foot tap, as simple as that. This foot tapping factor is here, and it's very similar to what I remember from having original set of Naim Unity and Naim NAP 10 or 20 was it. So basically original full setup from Naim that I owned a couple of years ago. The foot tapping, my testing track for that is Topsy. Topsy is very nice track, it's very well recorded, it's very spatial, but at the same time with right equipment it's very rhythmic and you just want to move your foot. Okay, the amplifier with regular dynamic speakers was not as detailed as Glyphon or Darzil clones. It was focusing stronger on large image. Okay, and this is another trait that in my memory is shared with this Naim setup that I owned. The Unity Qt was also not the best thing when it came to analyzing your music and focusing on details. It was very strongly focused on your, maybe not your, but the singer's emotion, the rhythm, and the large picture, the scale of the sound. Okay, as I said, it seems to be on the darker side. Not warm, just darker. It's like it's not focusing on technicalities, but just the fun coming from music and the macro scale of things. And the good side of this, or maybe a side effect, positive side effect of that kind of approach, is that it will be masking problems with bad recordings, although with electrostats it was able to show some of the difficulties. Not the very fine ones, not the very fine problems, but yes, it got clearer and more transparent with electrostats. So, basing on my Ascent electrostat experience, it seems like it would pair better with some difficult loads. So, although it's perfectly fine, and maybe that's not even the right word here, it's very good amplifier. It's very, very good amplifier, making you have a lot of fun from listening music. And although it works very good with simple loads, with easy loads, like my dynamic Martin Logan or DALI speakers, it starts to behave way better when I give it a difficult, heavier load. In this particular case, my Martin Logan electrostat speakers. Again, one thing worth mentioning here is that it sounds great and it uses minimal amounts of energy to do so. It's very small, because I don't know if you have noticed, it's a very thin case. It's a very small amplifier. It basically never gets warm. It stays cool. It looks good. So I'm happy to give it my recommendation. Also, the price is a factor here. It's not as cheap as Musical Fidelity and Burmester clones. It's slightly more expensive, but again, it's not as expensive as Glyphon or Darzil clones. So it sits somewhere in the middle of the pack. Yet, it has proven that it's a very good pairing with my electrostats. And that's a compliment. That's a very big compliment, because most of the amplifiers just fall down on their face when they try to drive my electrostats. That's sad, but true. Only the best, only the most powerful amplifiers are able to drive them properly and to actually let you see what are the capabilities of electrostat speakers. So, my highest recommendation, as I said, full description of my chain in the video description, the store link, the one I actually got that amplifier from, is also linked into the description. If I'll be able to push this video in this week during 11/11 sale on AliExpress, you may be able to get and to use some coupons to lower the price. If you like this video, if it helped you in any way to decide whenever you want to purchase this one or not, I'm more than open. I'm more than welcome. You are more than welcome to buy me a beer. I'm buying beers from all over the world, and I'm trying them when I'm listening to my music. So yes, using this occasion, I wanted to thank you, because last week, actually 2 days ago, we've reached 5,000 subscribers on the channel. And when I started my review career, because I'm doing this after hours. I have a regular day job and I'm doing this as a hobby after hours. So when I got a DAVZIL in May and when I realized how good it is, and I've decided to publish a video shot with my phone about this amplifier, I've never expected that in such a short time we'll have such a great community of audio lovers, because, you know, guys, I really do love our discussions in the comment sections. You may have noticed or you may have not noticed, but I'm really trying to answer every single comment. I'm doing this twice a day, usually in the morning and in the afternoon, in the evening. And I really love to discuss with you, and I really love to hear your opinions on the equipment that you're buying. So, thank you again. Let's celebrate this 5,000 subscribers with this video, and let's hope to reach 10,000 soon. Thank you guys, and see you next time.